Recording.
Okay, we'll get started. I want to remind everyone of the City of Perry staff core values: strong work ethic, problem solving, community oriented, shows professionalism and integrity, is a team player, is accountable, and is a good steward. So can I have a roll call, please?
Mahler. Walling,
Yes.
Clyde,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Shelley. Joe, are you on Zoom?
Yes, I am here. Thank you.
Okay, welcome, Joe.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, so first item is approval of the meeting agenda.
That we approved tonight's meeting agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, roll call, please.
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes,
Clyde.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Okay, welcome. Meeting agenda. Okay, so the consent agenda has the minutes of the November 3rd, 2025 regular city council meeting. There are contract services for Bolton and Mank, 2 to Eocene for a total of $25,035.24. Claims register and financials of $834,145.81. And Hy-Vee Food Stores, 1215 141 Street, Perry, Iowa, has requested renewal of their Class E retail alcohol license, and police and fire inspections are complete and on file at City Hall. Can I have a motion, please?
Consent agenda?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Yes.
Shelley,
yes,
Mahler,
Yes.
and
Yes.
hey, do you mind muting yourself when you're not speaking? We're getting a lot of backfeed on this side. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Okay, next up, city administrators report. Sven is out doing some personal things in the woods, so if anybody from the staff want to say anything in his stead? Okay, we'll move on to mayor council comments. Been busy time since the last meeting. We had 2 ribbon cuttings and an open house. The Iowa Street Wetlands, the Frog Creek Restoration, and the wastewater treatment plant all were very well attended, and we had some good press out of it, and they all turned out really nice. So I really want to thank all of the staff who were helped to organize that and make that happen. We then had the Iwo Jima mural dedication. That went really well too. It was really cold and windy, but we had a huge crowd of veterans there, and a lot of people show up. So that was really nice. So I wanted to thank Eddie Diaz and his, not really staff, but his committee that got that going. They got it organized really quickly and got it done, and then it looks really nice there. So thanks to them. And then wanted to thank the high school for putting on the Veterans Day celebration again. It was fantastic as usual, and did a really good job. And so need to thank all those involved with the organization and setting that up, because it went over really well, and I know the veterans really appreciate it. So any council comments?
I just wanted to comment that despite crappy weather, Art on the Prairie was a success. It was a lot of good art, music, poetry, all kinds of stuff going on. Too bad the weather was so lousy.
Yeah.
Attendance, I'm sure, was down, but I think everybody who went enjoyed it.
It's always a good event.
It is.
Did everybody see those flakes on Saturday morning?
Yeah.
We came out of La
Yeah.
Poste and there was about 15 people just out filming the snowflakes. Like, we're all from Central Iowa. Nobody had seen those flakes like that. Yes, I agree with that. Art on the Prairie was awesome. And the Iwo Jima mural, I didn't get over there to do that, but the Marines came over for their 250th birthday party at the bar, and they were all gentlemen and awesome. And that's a cool celebration that they have.
It's a busy week. That was a great week.
It was
Yeah,
good.
it was.
Weekend, yeah.
Okay. Okay, next up is the open forum. Speakers be asked to step to the microphone, state their name and address for the record, and individuals speaking will be given 3 minutes to address the council. So are there any open forum requests? Okay, hearing none. First thing on the actual agenda is the public hearing. We've got a public hearing for voluntary annexation. This is to Mr. Eddie Diaz of Simplify Commercial Solutions has asked that we annex the small piece of his property that wasn't annexed in before. That gives us the right of way we need for doing our work to the highway improvements when that comes up with our grant from the DOT. So with that, it's 6:07. We'll open the public hearing.
Since Ben's not here, I guess I'll speak. This has been going on for a while now, as indicated on the map above. Sometime back, a conversation between Dewey, myself, and at the time Chief Vaughn. I think it was actually when we put a stop sign over there, we realized that was not within the corporate boundaries, so. Dewey tirelessly worked with the DOT on trying to figure out how legal descriptions and exactly what needed to be done, so. That's where that stands, and as the mayor stated, it kind of really came to head with the rights grant. We want to make sure everything was compliant.
So it's basically all public property except that little
Kind of
piece of corner
triangle,
there that
yeah.
carves into Eddie's property. So
All right. The rest of that outline area is already within the city.
Yep, yeah, so anything to the south of kind of that bolder yellow line is already in.
Okay,
I think at one point through discussion, we kind of thought it had something to do when Willis was still a highway. And it was some old like DOT right of way stuff, so.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's why it's kind of has those weird, I'm gonna call them ears on it, for lack of a better term.
Can't unsee that now.
okay, any comments? Okay, with that, we will close the public hearing at 6:09. Okay, on to old business. So item A is a resolution approving voluntary annexation of property owned by Simplify Commercial Solutions LLC in the city of Perry. So it's just what we talked about a bit ago. Lots of information there to read if you haven't already, but could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass a resolution approving the voluntary annexation of property owned by Simplify Commercial Solutions LLC in the city of Perry.
I second that.
Any other discussion required? Okay, roll call, please.
Wallen,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item B is a resolution approving the site plan for the JBS sausage plant within the city of Perry and providing consent to permit barbed wire fencing. So this would approve the site plan with the possibility of a few additional comments from the city. That was sent November 10th, 2025 for the facility located at 192 Sumas Avenue. And it also is to approve a request from them that they be able to use barbed wire fencing around their facility, which is not currently allowed in the industrial park, but has been waived for, I think ITC has barbed wire, and Guthrie County REC will be putting barbed wire around their substation when it gets built. So
This is on top of regular fence or instead of?
I'll show you a kind of a layout of the fence, but
Okay.
the barbed wire would be on top of chain link fencing.
Okay.
And per the code, it does allow for it if council provides written consent. So
Correct.
that's the end of the resolution and would be the written consent portion.
so could I have a motion, please?
I move that we approve the site plan for the KBS sausage plant within the city of Perry and provide consent and permit barbed wire fencing as well.
I'll second.
Molly, you want to
Yeah.
start us off?
My. Okay. Okay. So we're familiar with this site since we've talked about it a handful of times, but the address is 192 Sumas Avenue at the southeast portion of the Perry Industrial Park. The current zoning is heavy industrial, and the proposed project is to construct a modern sausage facility. So since we kind of have talked about this project a handful of times and have taken it through a number of approvals for different things up into the site plan, I kind of like to provide like a history of what we've done up until this point. So when those two parcels were annexed into the city, they were annexed in as agricultural. That's our standard practice. So in order to allow for what our code says as the slaughter of animals, it has to be zoned heavy industrial. So we did go through that rezoning process. We took it to the Planning and Zoning Commission in June, where they recommended approval. And then we did the setting the public hearing, and the 3 ordinance readings through City Council. And it was officially approved in July under Ordinance 922. And it was approved with contingencies of no rendering along with odor mitigation. So kind of the next step was, since it was 2 parcels that JBS had acquired, in order for them to construct the facility, they would have needed to combine those parcels. So in our code, I can administratively approve parcels that are going from 2 to 1 or 1 to 2. So we have gone through that process. So that was recorded, that plat of survey was recorded with Dallas County on August 14th. And if anybody wants to look up the document number is 2025/13811. And then at the end of August, JBS did request a few variances. So we did hold a Board of Adjustment meeting on the 21st of August. And I'll just kind of go through each of the variances and then what the board decided for each of them. So their first request was to allow for front yard fencing. That is not allowed per code, so they would have to get a variance for that. And their reasoning was for overall security throughout their site, which I believe is also a requirement with the USDA that they have to meet. So the board did approve that. However, it was contingent upon what that maximum height setback of the fence would be. So that leads to the second bullet point where they requested for 8-foot tall fencing. In our code, we allow for 6 feet. So the variance would be to allow for 2 feet higher for that fence. So the board did approve that as well. However, they put a contingency to make sure that that fence be installed at least 5 feet back from the property line. The third request was to omit required landscaping. The board did have much discussion with this, but did deny it. However, they were open to JBS showing that landscaping elsewhere on site. So the city follows SUDAS, which requires for a percentage of landscaping based off of your square footage of parking space, and for that to be around kind of like your parking lot area. So I'll show you the landscaping plan here in a couple slides and meets what was discussed at that Board of Adjustment meeting. And then the final request was to omit parking islands. Parking islands are required per SUDAS, and there's requirements for however many to be spaced away from a parking stall. This was approved slightly, so it was allowed, but it was approved. However, the board still wanted to see parking islands with raised curbs. What JBS was proposing prior to this was just striping of pavement. And I think we all know with like what we experienced at Hy-Vee or Tractor Supply, people drive over those, striped areas and can just kind of lead to a safety hazard. So they are showing curbed parking islands, but a little bit less than what is required per SUDAS is what the board was okay with. So I'll show all of you guys that in this next slide, which is kind of the overall site layout. And I know those on Zoom can't see me, but I am going to go up here and kind of point the flow and act like a teacher for a few minutes. So,
Just act like and then.
yeah. So here's Suma's that we have here. So the entrance will be on the very northwest corner. Trucks that are bringing in live sows will come through here all the way to the end of the drive and enter through this guardhouse. There's two guardhouses on site, one here and one here. They will have 24/7 surveillance, so there will always be an individual there. Those with the live sows will come down through here, unload into these 4 dock doors. They call this area the barn. It does not look like a barn, but that is what we call it. They will unload the live sows into these 4 dock doors and then truck back out the same way they came. The trucks that are picking up the packaged sausage that has gone through the processing plant will come through here to this guardhouse, come down. There are 9 dock doors total. 1 is for garbage, so there's 8 for picking up the sausage and then truck back out. Like I said, these do have 24-hour surveillance, so we have worked with the fire department on kind of site plan review with JBS, and we'll keep these open in case that there is a fire or emergency safety. They'll be notified, as well as there are Knox boxes throughout the fences, which I'll show in the next slide. Yeah, so here's staff parking. So staff will come all the way up here, come in here, and then kind of enter through the front door while they'll have like other security measures inside to check in. This parking area here is for visitors or management. And then there is like a gate here. So again, just extra security for them to go through. Water and sanitary will come off of Suma's, which we have been working with Epstein, JBS's engineer, on that with our RISE grant that we have received. And stormwater mitigation will also be on site. There will be pedestrian access throughout, and it's kind of hard to see with it being black and white, but there is sidewalk connectivity that leads through here and goes up to the main drive. And with our DOT RISE grant, we are proposing a trail along Suma. So those that could potentially be walking would be able to exit or enter in and exit and get into the site. We are finalizing just the last bit of wastewater calculations, but like I said, are very near the end with that with our Bolton and Mink team as well. And we will have I'm not quite sure the right term for it, but like a small building for our wastewater guys to go and test the wastewater every so often to make sure that what they're sampling meets our DNR requirements that we have with them. So there's that.
I heard that Guthrie may be building part of a substation over on their property here instead of across the street. Is that?
That has been mentioned to me as well. I think that will be kind of a second phase to what the site plan is. There's still, I think, lots of logistics with that being sorted out. So if that does come to light, we might do maybe a second site plan or an altered one, but it wouldn't really hold up to what is being shown here for that. And then here's the landscaping plan. So what you see in green is them just showing that they're going to be doing grass for those parking islands. However, everything that you see in kind of that like dotted hashed pattern is grass. So they were just showing the green to make sure that they were meeting the requirements for that one variance request. But what was talked about in the Board of Adjustment meeting was maybe adding some trees along the Suma's Avenue to just add kind of like beautification as you're driving by and entering through the site. So the applicant has shown that as you see there. There will be berming throughout the site, so kind of encompassing the entire vicinity of the triangle. So that also provides screening of the facility. So when you're driving along Suma's, you really, or even like along 150th to the south, you really, from that angle with a site analysis, wouldn't see much of the facility unless you were like entering into it with the driveway. And then the fencing, so what is in that bold red along Sumas, and that cuts kind of to the north down to the front door of the building, that fencing there will be ornamental. And then what you see in the blue, kind of at the quote unquote, the barn area that jots up to the very east guardhouse along the east side of the property and then to the south, that is chain link with the barbed wire on top. So it's not entirely chain link and barbed wire. They do have that nice black ornamental fencing along Sumas and to the north. But what you see in the blue would be the chain link and barbed wire on top. And then the elevations are the same as what we've shown since the rezoning process. So not much has changed there. And I'll open it up if the applicant wants to come up and maybe add anything I missed or state any other information.
Well, I'd say she didn't miss much. She's been overseeing this through many of the processes. So Josh Warren with Epstein, we're the AOR, EOR, as well as a general contractor on the project. So yeah, the wastewater monitoring building is what I'm calling it. So we just want to provide a location for the city so they can come in and test all of the outgoing water exceeded. So we're just working on the specifics of exactly where that goes, but just making sure that it can hit the deeper sanitary and hit the process waste. Since we are treating all of the water on site, you know, we've got a higher pressure from the above ground tanks. We got rid of the lagoons, I think, since last time we were in front of you as well. And doing the tanks and this effort for odor mitigation, trying to avoid any kind of odors from going from the open lagoons to covered lagoons to now JBS is committed to the premium, which is going with an MDPR system, which uses the tanks and that's how they treat it before it goes out to the sewer. So we're just working through the specifics of that because sanitary flows by gravity, so it's much deeper. How do we do that with you know, auto testing and things like that? So but we'll get that update and share it with city staff and continue to work with that. Happy to answer any questions if this is the right time, but yeah, you covered most of it.
So you're pre-treating all of the water before it goes through?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
correct. We're still aligning with the city and state for the requirements for what's outgoing. We're currently waiting for the state to give their final reply back, but yes, we're providing all the treatment at the facility before it gets released out.
But it'll still go through our waste building.
It will, yep. It'll still connect into the typical sanitary, and that's what we'll have all the testing, so that the city can test anything within the facility or the site, I should say. It's a better way to say that.
Further comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Andor,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Waller.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to new business. Item A is resolution making council appointments for the 2026 Dallas County E911 Board. This makes our appointment is Police Chief Jim Archer as the primary member and Police Sergeant Alec Lott as the alternate. And so can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we pass resolution making council appointments to the 2026 Dallas County E911 Board.
I'll second that.
We need any discussion?
Say this and the next one are kind of getting into our end of year standard reappointment items, so.
Okay, roll call.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay, item B is a resolution appointing representative and alternate to the Dallas County Emergency Management Commission for 2026. I am as the elected official in the primary, and Chief Archer is the alternate. And full disclosure, I have attended those, but I usually just leave it up to Jim unless he tells me he cannot make it. So thank you, Mr. Chief Archer, for that. But could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we pass a resolution appointing a representative and alternate to the Dallas County Emergency Management Commission for 2020.
I second that.
Okay. Further discussion on that one? Roll call?
Walling,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item C, resolution approving the fiscal year 2025 Iowa DOT street finance report. Copy was in the package, and it's basically Susie does a fantastic job as usual, putting together all the data that they need to review. And so could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we approve resolution approving the fiscal year 2025 Iowa DOT street finance report.
I'll second that.
Susie, any?
This report, all cities have to do this report, so then apples can be compared to apples. The beginning, what it really looks at is like what you spend on road use tax and like road debt and capital projects. The beginning balance of road use tax was 168,000, and the ending balance was 183,000, so it's up a little bit. Capital projects still ongoing, so we haven't got all of the funding and the grant funds yet. But it looks pretty good, so. Do you have any questions?
Looks like it's pretty good.
Okay. Thank you for all your efforts. So no further questions. Roll call, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay, item D is a resolution certifying TIF debt to county auditor. So we are in our original TIF district, the amount of $413,249 that we will collect from the auditor and then distribute to our TIF recipients. So could I have a motion,
I
please?
make a motion that we certify the TIF debt to county auditor.
I'll second that.
Okay, Susie?
We have several development agreements that we're requesting funds for, as well as the 2020 GO bond and the economic development initiative.
Anybody have any questions on this one? Okay, roll call.
Andor,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Okay. Item E is resolution accepting the annual urban renewal fiscal year 2025 report per House File 2460. We got to do this annually, and it has to be submitted by December 1st, 2025. So could I have a motion, please?
Motion, we pass the resolution accepting the annual urban renewal fiscal year 2025 report.
I'll second that.
Any questions on that one?
Like the
Comments?
trip certification, the last agenda item, that looks forward to what we need in the future, like FY 27. This looks back to the past. This looks back to the last fiscal year and what we received and how we spent.
Okay. So they can see if we're using it wisely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it particularly complete? No. No.
Roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay, so item F is the resolution accepting the fiscal year 2025 annual financial report. So this has to be again filed into the Perry Chief by November 20th, or was filed November 20th. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion that we accept the fiscal year 2025 annual financial report.
I'll second.
Susie, got any comments on that one?
City. The little under 9 million. The ending balance of June 30th, 2025 was about 9.7 million. This is just a snapshot of one fiscal year, so sometimes it looks like it's not balanced because you're waiting on grant funds, you're waiting on bond funds or something like that. One of the issues I think we're gonna have is overtime and some part-time wages. I think we're gonna have to take a serious look at that for the next budget year. Mhm. At the rec center. But I think we're gonna have to just kind of do that again when we're doing our budget.
Okay,
See what we can afford.
we're gonna have to do some adjustments for this year then too, or you think just for, okay. And then in our budgeting for next year, we need to address it better. Okay. Any questions, comments to Susie on that one? Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Andor,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yeah.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Okay, and with that, it's our full agenda, so we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Well, it's gonna have